I'm just going to share a little story about what happened to me. I'll share this one. I used to be a chav, right, in my early 20s. I used to take fucking drugs. I used to take a lot of E's. I used to take a lot of whiz. I used to go to clubs. I used to have a fucking great time. I used to, I did, let's be honest. I used to go to Wigan Pier. Is anyone out Wigan Pier? I used to be into bounce music, trance music. I used to dress like a chav. Let's say, if you want to put me in a box at the time. And when I go to the clubs, I used to absolutely love it with a passion at one point in my life. And God, I'd be going there in the taxi. I'd be rushing my head off, obviously on uppers, whatever you want to call it. And I'd be rushing my head off. I'd be so excited. I'd go into the club and the music, you could hear the speakers, big sound system, the tunes are bouncing out. I'd be dancing. I'd be fucking loving it. I was young. I was stupid, of course. Anyway, that was fun, short term. It's not a healthy thing to do. I wouldn't recommend it really. It's not good, but I enjoyed it at the time. I was young. Anyway, long story short, I was hanging around with other chavvy people, let's say. And at one point in my life, but I was a people pleaser as well at the time. And I'd be around groups of people and they'd all be loud and I'd be really, really quiet. I didn't have my voice. I hadn't found my voice. And I was getting bullied really fucking badly. I was getting terrorized by this group of fucking chavs, let's say. And I was different. I was just naturally different to them, let's say. They were low vibrational people. I was also a low vibrational person at the time. It's my own responsibility, this. It's my own fault, let's say. And I was around these fucking dickheads. They were fucking dicks, man. And they would put me down and they would tear me to pieces. And I mean, tear me to pieces really harshly for a long, long time. Oh God, trust me, this is why I can deal with all this shit so easily now, man. It's like, this is fuck all, like, a troll on here. It's just like, it's child's play to me. But back then I was getting absolutely ripped to shit. And I was really, really quiet. I was probably really insecure. Hence the reason I was taking drugs to make myself feel better. It's just sad, I get it. And for about 2 years, I think this happened for about a year and a half, I was getting absolutely terrorized. And I felt like I was at the bottom of the pecking order, let's say, in the group dynamics, in the hierarchy of friends, let's say. So yeah, I was getting fucking picked on. I was getting fucking bullied to fuck. And it got to a point where it got worse and worse. And at one point, people were actually off it. Like, they got to a point where people were for saying, I'm going to beat you up. I'm going to fucking beat you up. I got to one point where I thought, shit, that one person was going to actually beat me up. And all I was doing, I was sat there quietly on my own, in my own little energy, all drugged up. It's not healthy. It's not good. And I was getting fucking terrorized to fuck. Trust me, I was getting fucking terrorized. Yeah. And all I thought was, I don't want to upset anyone. I don't want to upset anyone. I want to be a kind, decent person. And that's what I knew. And that's what I was applying. And it wasn't working. It wasn't fucking working. And it got to a point where I thought, how the fuck have I landed in this situation? I'm a nice, kind person, I thought to myself. And people are just treating me with so much disrespect. So bad. We're fucking bad, trust me. I thought, how the fuck? And now it got to a point where it got worse and worse. I thought, I hadn't learned the lesson, so things were getting worse. And it's like, this person actually wants to fight me, wants to beat me up. And I've not said anything to this person. I've never done anything wrong to this person. And they're threatening to beat me up. And it was a big wake-up call for me. And that's when I thought, actually, I need to change this. I've had enough of this shit. And that's how bad it got. Luckily, I never got beaten up or anything, but it was close to it. It was close. I thought, right, I need to step up now. I need to work on myself. I need to stop being such fucking nice people pleaser. That's what led me to reading, because I fucking hated myself so much. I hated the fact that I was taking drugs all the time as well. It was really wearing me down, as it does. I'd stay up for 2 or 3 days, non-stop session, like fucking, I was a monster. I was fucked up, man. So yeah, as good as the clubs were, as good as all that was, it was coming to a point where I thought, this is really unhealthy. This is really bad. I'm around loads of knobheads. These aren't my friends. They were bad. They weren't good friends. This is my own fault. I needed this lesson in life, I think, but it drew me. It forced me to learn about being a people pleaser, forced me to learn about reading. And then long story short, I started to read a lot. I started to work on myself. This took fucking time though. It didn't happen overnight. And I started to change. This was probably about 2007, 2008. I started to change, probably about 25, 26 or something like that. at the time. And I started to work on myself, and then I changed. I learned about the people that were bullying me as well. I learned about narcissism. I learned about all these things because I was reading. I read so much. I was reading, thinking, fuck, reading. I was learning about myself. I was learning about all these people. I was thinking, I understand this now. I learned about it. I understood about it. And then I started to have some self-respect, and I found my voice, basically. Long story short, I found my voice. So I was really quiet, really quiet. And then I started to be a cocky little cunt. I started to be a cocky cunt, but I needed to be. I needed to have a voice. I need to stand up for myself. So I started to be more confident, and they did they like it? They went, you've changed, you fucking changed. Why are you being like that? They didn't like it. They were taken aback, and I was firing back. I was fucking firing back at the time. I was laughing. I was having a laugh at my own expense. I'd have a laugh at my own expense. I had more energy. I was being confident. I was being cocky. Trust me, I was being cocky as fuck at the time. I put them back down as well, and then they left me alone. They left me alone. They stood back. They thought, oh shit. And guess what? It stopped happening. It fucking stopped happening. I needed that lesson. And I stopped being so nice. I stopped people pleasing. I like to think that I've kept those positive traits of being a people pleaser, though, the kindness, etc. But then they stopped fucking around. Then they didn't like it, and they kept saying, "You've changed." I think, yeah, I fucking changed. And guess what? Those people didn't want to be around me anymore. They stayed away from me. I remember once going to a nightclub one night. It was New Year's Eve, and loads of people weren't happy with me. They weren't happy with me. They were pissed off at me. I had loads of different people from different groups not happy with me. And I went to a house afterwards, and they wouldn't let me in the house. They didn't want me in anymore. It was a good thing. They wanted the old me in there so they could take the piss out of me to make themselves feel better. But this new me, the confident me, they didn't want to know me anymore. So that was part of the sign of growth, isn't it? Tell you that's my little story about being a fucking people pleaser, and how I came away from it. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy though. It took years. It took fucking years, man. A lot of fucking hard work. That really hard work. Very lonely as well. A very lonely period in my life. Very low period in my life as well. I've hit rock bottom. I did hit rock bottom. I remember getting sacked from a job. I got sacked. That was a big low for me. Yeah, I got sacked. I deserved to be sacked because I was a dick. I wasn't very reliable, let's say. It's the only time I've been sacked in my life. A big low for me anyway. Anyway, let's go back to the comments. That's my little story.